Welcome back to another Coffee with Joy. I am your host, Joy, and I'm so excited to have my guest, Denise Caldwell, as we talk about It's All About Confidence. Keep in mind, it's the summer. There's some ideas that she's going to share all about how to dress, how to make your wardrobe work for you. So after these messages, we're going to talk to my guest, Denise.
Our mission focuses on showcasing local and global talent of all ages on and off the field. We will strive to inspire, educate, and bridge the divides through our media collaboration. Our goal is to give student athletes and coaches the platform to let their talents be seen and a platform for the community to let their voices be heard. This is the Union Media Group.
Welcome back to Coffee with Joy. I'm your host, Joy. And again, I'm so excited to have my guest, Denise. We're going to bring her on and she's going to tell us a little bit about her. And then we're going to dive in all about confidence. Hi, Denise.
Hey! Oh wait, I should greet you with my coffee cup. It matches my outfit.
Of course.
Give me
Yes.
some coral summer vibes going on over here. Cheers!
Cheers. Yes, cheers. Woo! You know, we got to get some cheers with coffee, people. Yes, coffee. So can you tell people a little bit about you and then we're going to dive right on in?
Yes, absolutely. So I am Denise Caldwell, and I'm known as a lifestyle style fashion guru, a little bit of beauty sprinkled in there. And I've been working in the industry for about 10 plus years. I started out in the celebrity styling game. So I have assisted so many amazing celebrity stylists and fashion editors, and worked with celebrities like Jennifer Lopez, our former First Lady, Beyonce, Kendall and Kylie Jenner, Will Smith, Sarah Jessica Parker, and many fashion designers like Naeem Khan, the late and great Karl Lagerfeld, Oscar de la Renta, Proenza Schuler, Diane von Furstenberg. The list goes on and on and on. Vera Wang, I can't forget because she's amazing and she was so gracious to me in the start of my career. But yes, I have done Met Gala for 10 years, and I have also started doing television where I now help women and sometimes men dress with confidence. And, you know, I have done about 1,200 makeovers on television alone. So national TV shows like the former Dr. Oz, the former Marilyn Dennis show in Canada. Shout out to my CTV crew. And then I do Top 25 Local. So, you know, the DMV, you see me. Good Day Baltimore, yes. Fox 5 in DC. I host the Lion Lunch Hour sometimes, which I love. And then I do Good Day LA. I'm in Atlanta. I'm in Chicago. I'm a little bit of everywhere.
Awesome.
Especially in the top 25. And I just love doing it. You know, nowadays, especially post-COVID, I come in to your house before you even had your coffee, and you guys welcome me graciously, and we talk about what to buy, what to get, how to get it, and who to get it for. So I'm really gracious that my career has pivoted before pivot was a thing, and has really elevated and makes my mama, my daddy, and my granny proud.
Yes, I always want to make our parents proud. You heard it, people. The line of resume that she has worked with so many great people, and I'm so gracious to have her on Coffee with Joy. Now, before we even get there, how did this all started? Like as a young child, were you into being, into being fat, into fashion, or was it because of something that turned around? How did you get into fashion?
I think I've always been fashionable. I was voted best dressed in my high school, like a prom
Yes.
queen. Howard, I ran for Miss Howard. I've just shout out to HU.
Yes.
I've just always kind of been fashionable. My dad is a veteran. He served our country in Germany, and he had all these amazing like vintage coats and stuff, which I still have in storage in Brooklyn. Um, and my mom, she's a shopper. She is a savvy spender shopper. You give her $100, she's gonna get outfits, shoes, jewelry, maybe even a lipstick, and then she's still gonna have taxi fare to get home. And so
Yes,
that's
mom.
really how I grew up. My grandmother is she was a woman entrepreneur. She was one of the first Black women to own and drive taxi. So she had a very standard, crisp white shirt that she loved to wear and navy pants. So we had the tangents of go all out and be flashy and fly to savvy spender to something that's more classic and chic. So I kind of had my freak flag fly as a young kid, but I majored in chemistry actually in college. I thought I wanted to go to med school. And then all of a sudden, I found myself in the bathroom one day at the Hearst Towers meeting someone because I loved reading fashion magazines. I
Yes.
met this fashion editor. I knew all about her because I would read her in-page magazine with Marie Claire. And next thing I know, I'm on set with her, with Britney Spears. And then I'm on set,
Mm.
with Kimora Lee Simmons from my hometown in St. Louis. And then it just went from there. I'm at Fashion Week. I'm working backstage at the Tracy Reese show. And then next thing I know, I have an internship at Harper's Bazaar. And then it goes from there. And,
Wow.
you find me on the streets of New York City with Karl Lagerfeld shooting the September issue for Harper's Bazaar, and then it just took off from there.
Wow. Can we just say a rocket ship literally just got in the lane and just kept going, no stopping? Hey, give me a ticket.
Suddenly,
I'm just going to go full throttle. There's no stopping me. That is phenomenal. I mean, just making women closet, making women fashion, men's fashion as well. Of course, top notch. Now, what are now you hear quote unquote arrive. Of course, many stylists would love to be in your position and really take it from there. What are some staple pieces that you would say to a woman who is not fashionable, but what should they have in their closet probably all year, all year?
it always starts with a good bra. I think that a woman should have a good bra, something that's going to keep her structured. It's also great for breast health. Statistics
Hmm.
show if you have a great bra, you're prone to not be susceptible to breast cancer, which is great.
Okay.
Having good underwear and shapewear, still having your cotton. Shout out to Fruit of the Loom. I was their spokesperson for about 5 years. So having
Yes.
cotton underwear, but then having your staple underwear and shapewear that you need. I call it your Under Armour, because if
Uh
underneath
huh.
looks amazing, that outfit, then your outfit on top is going to look great. I always say have a good pair of hoop earrings. You can mix gold and silver all day long, but I feel like that frames your face. It's like Spanx for your face. If you have a good eyebrow and a good hoop earring, you're going to look amazing. And then a great pair of heels. If you can get 3 inches to 4 inches, that is a classic way to have, but it still gives you a little because I'm 5'2". So, the guys out there call me fun size because I'm short. But I am this, what they call it, powerhouse, petite powerhouse.
Right.
So 3 to 4 inches is great at any age. And then if you can do 5, then that's fantastic too. No more than 5, but a classic pump that kind of gives you a little toe cleavage as well. I also think having a pair of black opaque tights is always
Mm.
good. You can use them definitely in the winter, but in the summer, if you're like sweating a little bit and perspiring and you get deodorant on your clothes, you take that and wipe it off. It will come right off of any garment that you have on, so that way you don't have any sweat stains or deodorant stains. And then what else? A good pair of jeans. and a good pair of
Yes.
leggings that won't show your downward dog when you've been down. So a nice thick pair of high-waisted leggings really will snatch you into. And I always love a great white tee. You can get one, if you like Hanes or Fruit of the Loom, or you can get something that's like Timo Whalen, something that's a little bit more designer and expensive too.
Phenomenal. I think those are definitely great because I have those pieces, right? That's a must. But I have probably like over 50 pairs of jeans and probably only commit to two. Sad to
I was gonna
say,
say,
I am
how
not a
many of those
jeans
jeans you
person.
actually wear? Mm-hmm.
That's the problem, and I commit to two. That's sad, but I totally agree because when I put on this certain type of jeans, of course, it makes me feel empowered. I do feel great, and definitely with the proper undergarment, right? Definitely when the girls
Yeah.
are up, you just look and feel great. And I know you and I discussed earlier about working out, so adding that extra touch really gives the body that umph and really just making me feel good because that's where the confidence really exude. Now, have you worked with individual whose confidence wasn't there because of their style, because of their dressing, or just didn't know how to select pieces? How did you go about fixing their wardrobe as well as their confidence?
Yeah, absolutely. I have done about 1,200 makeovers on television,
Hmm.
behind the scenes and on camera. And what I find is that, I treat them kind of like a celebrity. I have everything laid out. Shout out to Team DC. They work really hard for me. We'll have the shoes laid out, we'll have the jewelry laid out, we will have like everything color coded racks. Like behind me, there are about 8 rolling racks that are kind of pushing my light ring up because we're working on a whole bunch of different fittings and projects. But we have extra sizes because sometimes I remember one young lady, she said she was like a size 10. Well, she turned out to be a size 16. And I was
Okay.
like, okay. Well, remember my assistant saying, well, if delusional was a person, that would be her. And I was like, that's not nice. Some people don't
You're
know their
right.
size. They may just say, oh, I'm a
Yeah.
large or extra large. And then when you say, well, what's your number size? And they're
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm a 10. It just so happened that I remember the producer and the executive producer were right on set. And we kind of had to scramble. We never sweat, but
Mm.
we did scramble. And we got
Right.
what we needed. And a lot of times, a lot of my makeover people are now my Facebook friends. So to see them evolve, where they were, I had a young lady that was so nervous she threw up in the fitting room.
Mm.
Um, we took a break, went and got a slice of cheese pizza and got her a Diet Coke, and then we went back and tried on stuff. To see her now,
Right.
she's married, she has a dog, she wears color now because she never did before. She was a redhead, so now she wears a red lipstick with her red hair. She's not afraid to wear green with her red hair, thinking it's not Christmas. I've had makeover people now that like they do a lot of influencer campaigns and stuff because they have
Mhm.
become so fashionable that they have been empowered to be that kind of like, celebrity in their hometown. So it's really about taking the talent that God has gifted me with, being patient with them,
Right.
being kind with them, teaching them tricks of the trade. Because I always tell people, especially like when I'm in the chair for makeup and hair, and I'm like, well, I'm a real
Right.
woman, so cover me right, do me right. I'm not a
Mhm.
celebrity. I have things that I want to accentuate and things that I want to conceal. But
Right.
knowing those things and knowing myself and then being able to relate with them, but then also say, hey, I've seen everybody naked, or I've seen somewhat of them naked, or I
Mhm.
know that, Sarah Jessica Parker appreciates a great bra,
Right.
just different things that I can kind of divulge with them and say, is J-Lo's butt that big? Well, not anymore. It's not as big, but still curvy and it's still there.
Uh-huh.
Just relating with them on that level so that they then kind of let their guard down and let us do what we do, which is really great.
That's that's phenomenal. Awesome. Now, I know many people are just not into colors, right? As you stated, some people just shy away from colors. They want to stay in those typical jeans, white, black, brown, nude. They just want to stay in that realm. How do you push someone out of that into colors, knowing that we are just a colorful people, right? But a lot of people are afraid to wear, especially the colors that's behind you. They don't even want to touch that stream because it makes me look big or it takes away from what I am. The scare tactics. So how do you bring someone out of their shell into that color world?
Absolutely. So there's this trend called dopamine dressing, and it's just
Okay.
that. It's what makes you feel good. It's kind of like your personality. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay if you don't like color. You can start small. Like I was at the nail shop earlier and Veronica Webb was at my nail shop. And it was funny because I looked over and I was like, oh, that's Veronica Webb. And then I started talking to her because I knew her from projects that I worked on, but she was more interested in my nail color than anything. And she was trying to get white layered on something. Hey, Veronica. I was cracking up because I said, oh, I've been wearing this color for years. I said, it's Cajun shrimp. They just reinvent the color name every year. I put it on my nails and my toes. Everybody that kind of knows me, I love a red lip or a hot pink lip. Funny enough, I'm doing like a nude mauve kind of thing today. But I think that color brings out your best self, and it also is a conversation piece. So if you are not necessarily feeling or looking your best, or you have bags but your nails look great, or you have a pop a lip on and a little bit of bronzer, like, and you got your baseball cap on, it's still something to be like, oh wow, that's amazing.
Wow.
And there are colors, thank goodness. Now I just did a interview with okmagazine.com and we talked about the best red colors, lipsticks for your skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
So thank goodness there are all these different types of colors now that you can kind of incorporate and say, oh, wow, okay, this is cool, and it kind of goes back to the dopamine dressing, because when you put it on, you see yourself and you're like, oh, okay, she's cute. And there's traditional colors that you could just rock with, like how you have on the cobalt blue. Money green is always a good color to wear. It's the color for summer. There's just strategic colors that you could put on that everybody can wear. And then there's colors like yellow where you kind of got to do, limoncello, or you kind of got to do more of a mustardy color to kind of make sure it looks great on you. And then there's hues of green that you can go in from, like, if you all look behind me, I have like the neons, but then I have more of like a hunter. Then I have one that's kind of like a sequiny color too, a little bit bright. So there's stuff that you can kind of play with on your skin tone where you really come into it. And now that, the fitting rooms are back open at stores, get in there.
Yeah.
I think they worked on their lighting a lot
Yes.
during COVID while those stores were closed, because the lighting is much better in a lot of
Right.
fitting rooms. I was just in Macy's, and it looked really nice. Like I was trying on some bras. I too, you guys, go in the fitting room. I end up talking to people and styling them, but I'm still in there. And yeah, you just kind of have fun with it, but definitely add some color to your wardrobe, whether it's just that little red dress, that LRD that you love, or the LBD, not the little black dress, but the little blue dress. Just different things that you can kind of do to really stand out. If patterns and prints are not your thing, at least start with a
Right.
solid pop of color. Mm-hmm.
People, you heard it from the guru herself. Definitely breaking down every piece. There's not a nick or cranny being missed here. We definitely appreciate all the advice that she's given us. So after these messages, we're going to talk to Denise. How are we able to incorporate accessories? As you all know, I'm an accessory girl myself. Of course, I have it all on, but she's going to teach us how to wear the accessories. What are the importance of accessories? So after these messages, we're going to hear from our guest, Denise. Latest news, today's news, current news, gossip news, you name it. I am your host with Coffee with Joy as I share any up-to-date news that's taking place around the world. But if you would like to check it out, please make sure you go to my YouTube channel, Coffee with Joy, where I share the latest topic. I am your host with Coffee with Joy with today's topic. Now we're going to watch a quick clip of On with Denise talking about just showing some accessories, and then we're going to go from there.
Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Every hustler getting paid. Where the hustle go come to pay.
Awesome. Thank you, team. So now, Denise, we know everyone, they dress up, but now the accessories are important because we know that can really make or break an outfit or really bring it up, bring it down. So if you could share some tidbits about some accessories, and not only for females, but as well as for male. Now we're getting out here gender neutral, if I can say. Guru?
Yes. Yes, I love gender neutral. Funny thing, you were showing that clip, and one thing you have to have, whether you're doing accessories or your clothes, is a great hanger. So shout out
Yeah.
to Swoop Hanger. They're actually local in the DMV. Libra Riley, she's a black-owned
Woo!
woman business. And we got a little snippet of that, but she has the most amazing hangers. So whether you're wearing suits and you're a little bit taller, or you have gowns or flowy maxi dresses, for my fellas, all of their trousers. She has the most amazing fundamental hangers. She was a vendor at IKEA, but she also sells. So that's something that you should definitely have. If you want to color coordinate your closet and do something like that, that's really cool. Of course, the necklaces I love. You traditionally have your pearl on right there, and then I'm like, okay, I love layering necklaces because not only does it elongate the neck, but it's really
Mm.
something that's fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes the camera guys get a little upset because if it makes a little noise, then I gotta like fight them to keep my jewelry. But if it lays flat, I think that's really great. But I love layering too, especially if you're a busty lady. Try to keep things that will be more choker style, and then kind of go down to like your lanyards and your pendants and stuff. Elongates the neck. It also opens up the bust line, which is very, your decolletage is always very ageless. So regardless of your age, is great. For the guys, they can get in on this trend too. I see a lot of chain mail, different types of ropes that the guys are wearing, whether it's faux diamond or diamond. I have seen that too. I love great rings on the fingers. I
Mhm.
have my traditional ones that I wear. Some are more high end, like from H. Stern and Tiffany.
Yeah.
But then I also have some that are just junk jewelry that I've gotten from like H&M and stuff. Again, we're talking about hoop earrings. I love a hoop earring. It's like Spanx for your face. If your brows are done and you got it, whether you have a bob or you have something long and flowy, or guys, your man bun. If you want to do one hoop or a small little, like I've seen the crosses coming back, and cool little like
Yes.
lightning bolt earrings for the guys. I think that's great. Ear cuffs are really great. I just went to a wedding, and I had a nice diamond ear cuff on just one
Mm.
ear and then a stud on the other. So those are really great. We've seen those on the red carpet, at the Tony Awards, and even at the Oscars, and at the Met Gala. So that's really cool. Handbags, we can't forget. Man bags,
Yeah.
you can still rock a nice little pochette, which is great. And my ladies, don't be afraid to rock a clutch. I know some of the clutches are super small, so you can only get like a lipstick or something in there. But if you can find a nice clutch that you can transition from day to night, I think that that's really great. And a nice like canvas tote bag, something that may be sustainable material too, that's recyclable. So you got your clutch in there, and then you got your little bag. So those are some cute little summer things. And for the summer with shoe game, I mean, sneakers are all the rave. I just went to the Foot Locker Foundation Awards, where they donated $1 million to UNCF, and it was all about the sneakers. I'm not really a
Mhm.
sneaker girl, but I did indulge
Right.
in some like limited edition Jordans that were great. And then I was able to get like my friends and some people in my church some sneakers too, because ain't no
Uh-huh.
fun if your friends can't have none. But the sneakers are definitely in. So whether you're a high top or a low fade type of sneaker person, that's really cool. And the strappy sandals are still strapping. Don't tie them all the way up to your knees though. Kind of keep them down at the ankle and right at the calf muscle, so it can really make your leg look nice, long, and lean. I know I see a lot of people tying them all the way up. Let's leave the 90s where the 90s are. Let's if we're gonna reinvent the 90s, let's bring them into the 2023 era
Right,
and
right,
keep them
right.
right where your calf muscle is, no higher than that, ladies.
Wow, that is literally taking you from your head to your toe, people. Really
Yes.
explaining the diverse of accessories of how to dress yourself, what is needed, what's important, and what can you use over and over and over. Of course, I don't suggest wearing your pearls all the time. Only wear it just because when I'm on the show or when I'm wearing something nice. But I don't suggest that, of course. Now, I know we want to say you've been in this for 10 plus years and it's been nothing but elegance, highlight, excellent. But there has been your downtime, right? There has been moments where it's like, oh my goodness, like you just want to just shake the person or shake today and just go crazy. Have you ever been in a situation where you have dealt with a client who just was just so adamant, who was just against anything, whether it was on TV or personal, that your worst moment ever that you was like, God, please don't allow me to embark on this again?
I have to say, not really. I mean, I don't know if people
Okay.
caught this tea earlier. We don't sweat. We may scramble, but we don't sweat. I think when I first started, the 10 years encompasses me assisting, and then me starting out on my own. So as
Okay.
an assistant, I kind of came up in the ranks, which was really great. And we
Okay.
had this thing I used to say, we're mistake
Mhm.
less. Like, I know it's
Mhm.
bold, it wasn't pride. It was just that we didn't make mistakes. Like, we took our
Right.
time. I always said, if we're rushing, go over it 3 times, because when you're rushing, you're susceptible
Mhm.
to make a mistake. So we
Yes.
always did a thing. If you're rushing, go over it 3 times, because
Right.
you're gonna make a mistake. So not really. I mean, I've always had the joy. Like, when I did work for some stylists, I know some celebrities would be like Team Devo Diva. But
Yeah.
they were always nice to me.
Right.
And
Right.
like, I don't know if it was just like I was the cool young black curvy girl, and like,
Mhm.
I come in like, hey, a ray of sunshine, just talking to them, and then they would be giving hell to like the stylist, my boss, but being fine to
Right.
me. So that's always been a blessing. TV is gonna TV. So there's
Mhm.
always gonna be breaking news, or you hurry up to rush to start to stop to wait. But that's something that I just really enjoy. TV kind of fell into my lap. And so with that, it's just a natural grace for me to do it. I enjoy doing it. The early call times sometimes can be a little bit, but hey, after you finish, it's done, it's live, and then you can just
Right.
go about your business, which is great. So we have other things that we do afterwards and stuff like that, but for the most part, I'm able to add an extra day on for personal stuff when I'm traveling. We kind of really gotten down pack on how we do things. So it's really been a blessing for me. I've had great brands that I've been spokespersons for. There are
Awesome.
retailers and brands that I continue to work with now that are really great. And just meeting the people. I think that that's the most thing. Like, you get to meet them, they kind of become a part of your life because you see them in their most intimate and vulnerable state, especially when you're
Right.
doing makeovers. And then to see them blossom, you're like, that's my baby. And I love that. And then I have a charity component to the company where we do dress up for your dreams. So we work with a lot of young girls or individuals that identify as a young girl. So we help them use style as a tool to kind of elevate them into success, depending on the age range they're in. So that's kind of my
Okay.
soul candy, which I love. And then I've always done stuff with the Make a Wish Foundation for their fashion wishes. So, it's kind of like, if people say, oh, Denise, the fashion girl, the TV girl, but then there is some meat to it, that we do a
Yeah.
lot of different things with our church ministries and different things across the world, in Africa and stuff, where we donate a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of soul candy to the superficialness, if people would think of it that way. But it is hard work. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I do
Right.
enjoy it for sure.
So now that you've been doing this, now that you add on different caveats to what along the way, how do you prep like your interns or any assistants on how to be better? Because of course, I know you stumbled along the way, but you found your way just to make sure, okay, I know to make this better. But how do you teach your intern or your assistants what to do and what not to do when dealing with celebrities or dealing with various clients?
So when I used to work for specific stylists, I had worked for her for several years. I was her
Mhm.
studio director, so I kind of created a intern handbook,
Okay.
and it was like a blueprint. I didn't know that I would have my own company, so then it kind of became the blueprint for my company, where it had an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, in there. There was
Mhm.
identifications and copies of records that we took. We gave credit to the local college and universities in New York for a lot of our interns, so I continued on with that. Especially when I started my company, we would have like the front line where they would meet like one of my assistants, David, Troy, or Brooke, or someone, and then they would meet them. And then after they met them and they liked
Right.
them, then I would meet them later. So it kind of came like that. We always have a rule where if you're an intern or you're a second assistant, you're not getting coffee or lunch. You are working. If you're getting coffee or
Right.
lunch, it's because you're getting it for everyone, including yourself. And we're all sitting down as a team. We're kind of like a family, close knit. Once the pandemic kind of hit, things kind of got even more smaller with the company. But I'm known to have a good Christmas dinner for the team. I think that the pay is pretty good. I'm looking
Right.
back. I think the pay is pretty good, especially because we do work with a lot of different brands and retailers and different things like that. TV is kind of an extra layer and added addition to the company, which I love.
Mhm.
So it's really just about if they mesh well, if it's something, what are
Right.
they aspiring to do? I always aspire to inspire. So
Mhm.
if it's something that they're looking to do, no one can be Denise Caldwell. She's already
Right.
reserved and taken. So then it's kind of like, what do you want to do? And then finding out who's your favorite stylist, who's your favorite designer, what is your
Right.
aesthetic, what is your taste in music, what is your taste in fashion and different type of things that you shop for. And then we go from there, because I've worked for a lot of different editors and stylists that elevated
Mhm.
me in a way where I'm like, oh, we only have a day to
Right.
prep something really quickly for, a makeover show or for today's show or GMA. No problem, because I have access to everything from Walmart to Versace. And
Right.
I just make a call or email, and I'm like, hey, I need to get this, or call Kodak and say, hey, graduation gifts, I need whatever you wanting for this or that, or calling different brands, Sephora, the Inky List, and saying, hey, what's the new SPF product that you have for skincare and
Right.
stuff, because we're now going to do something about sun protection. Or oh, today is National Sunglasses Day, so let me call Macy's and get all their sunglasses really quickly, because we last minute have a hit. So that's really been the cool thing. And then, of course, we can't leave out our curvy and plus size community.
Right.
That's just been a joy to kind of elevate. I naturally am plus size and curvy, so I'm so excited that I was welcomed into their community. As soon as I stepped off of being a stylist assistant, I could add that to my brand naturally. But to be accepted by the community and all the influencers and bloggers, and really just make it my own, and then advocate for them in a way that was great, to say, hey, I'm on this national television platform. No doubt that I can kind of, make sure I always have a plus size model, always have a curvy model, one
Right.
or two, or do a whole segment about it. So it's really been great when the team comes on board, that they already know what my vision is, but then I kind of know what their goals is. And some people stay for a long time. Some people stay just for a minute. Some people are like my friends. They're my good Judies. I call them and I'm like, hey, this job is specifically for you. I
Right.
need you, because not only are you senior, you're professional, you know me. Um,
Yeah.
but we just gonna have a really good time, and you're gonna get paid. So we have an extensive lineup of people that I can call and say, hey, I need you to do this for me. Yeah, which is great.
So that's
I think
phenomenal.
it
So
speaks
when we
volumes of
first,
who I am.
right? No, that's totally, totally perfect. So after these messages, we're going to continue to talk about plus fashion, because that's definitely needed as much as one may not think. So I think after the pandemic, a lot of brick and mortars have definitely went into seclusion. They left. So we're going to talk some more with Denise about plus size fashion after these messages.
Bring them out, hey. Bring them out, yeah. Bring them out, hey. Bring them out. VIP coming live from the VIP. Heard the nightlife, lost life with that.
Awesome, awesome. No
I
worries,
was
no worries,
touching
no
up high.
worries. I gotta, do a little touch up, no problem. So, as you know, stated, plus size fashion has really just went back into the shell. Yes, I know we are the innovators of online fashion, definitely there. But I believe that we was really making gains with brick and mortars. Now that plus size women could go in and actually just touch and feel the material and just know that, okay, wow, this I don't have to wait 3 days to get it, and then if it don't work, 3 days back. So like what is your take on online fashion as well as brick and mortar, and just overall fashion for plus size, the lack of or the greater, because again, depend on which side of the table you're looking at.
Well, first, we have to say congratulations to Coffee with Joy for your nomination with the Full Figure Fashion Industry Awards. The FIFAs, I mean, I'm so excited that
Thank
you
you,
were
Denise.
nominated. I hope you take it home. No shade to other people because I do know them, but y'all didn't invite me on y'all show yet. Okay. She been invited me like months ago, even before the nomination. So, you know, that's my girl.
Yes,
But
yes.
I feel like with, Gwen DeVoe, who had Full Figured Fashion Week, the Curvy Con girls, there has been so many great things. I actually was the stylist and style creator to help with the relaunch of Eloquy when they relaunched from the limited and went out on their own. And I just love that. Shout out to Mariah Chase and Jody, who originally had took helm of everything for Eloquy, and I just love how they have, transcended. I just helped with their bridal launch, and we did a huge thing for Pix 11 New York with that. So now, curvy girls have bridal under $1,000. Exquisite gowns, which is great. There's still our staples like Ashley Stewart and Lane Bryant. I know a lot of times the stores are far in between on some of the East Coast, but I'm a Midwest girl, and there's amazing Ashley Stewarts and Lane Bryants in the malls, and even in your different like little shopping center areas too, which I love. And I'm gonna say no shade on the online stuff, and I will even say I got 13 items recently from Fashion Nova. I had never shopped at Fashion Nova before. I also got some stuff off of Amazon, and I never really had bought items off of Amazon. And you may have to look. I think the fashion stylist in me, I took probably 2 hours, and I just was going through stuff, and I was adding stuff to the cart. And you guys, I shop. I love to shop. I know a lot of times I do get freebies, and when I'm working on different things, a lot of stuff will come for me to test it out and to try it, because I will not talk about anything on television if I haven't tried it myself. So just so people know, I am authentic in that way. If I haven't tried the lipstick, if I haven't tried the shapewear, if I haven't tried the bra, if I haven't tried the dress or the shoes or the perfume, I'm not talking about it. So just so you all know, it's something where I can actually fangirl about it and say, I've tried it, I've tasted it, I've seen it, and this is what it is. And this is why you should have it. But Fashion Nova, I bought 13 items. I haven't returned anything, but I did go up a size or two so I can get stuff tailored. Because we're not one size fit all with our plus sizeness. You know what I mean? We're juicy in some areas and we're snatched in others. We're working in progress. We in the gym, like lady here, trying to get it right, get it tight. What they say, I'm unbigging my back.
Right, yeah. Look, that back gonna be big, child. We just gonna work till it go, but no here.
But it's just different things that you try, and you're like, okay, if I'm normally a 14, let me get an 18 or 16 so that I can actually just get it cinched in a little bit more and tailored to what is great. And then it also makes it more customizable, because I feel like with plus size, we sometimes feel like, to your point, because we can't necessarily always go in the store and grab it, that it's not customizable, it's not speaking to us personally. And I don't think we should take it personal, because things are starting to progress and the stores will start to come back. But online, I mean, now you can get stuff around the world, from China to London, even Africa. And it's something that you may see and you're like, okay, let me try it and see. And there's so many great online fast fashion boutiques that have popped up, in Houston, Texas, and different places, Boston, Chicago. And you're like, let me try it out. And when you get it, it actually looks like what you have. And, I'm more concerned about the customer service part than I am about the actual attire. Like, if it doesn't work, or if I do need a size, what is the return policy? What is the shipping looking like? And different things. But I feel like people have learned that along the way. And when they're doing sales and great things, you're just like, oh, okay, let me get something. And I love the "we missed you" codes. I feel like DoorDash and Uber Eats does that to you well. So now clothing people are starting to get in on we missed you. Here's an extra 15%.
Right.
Or 40% off, So I think it's a really great thing too. And, as you kind of become this WIP where you're work in progress and you may either be gaining weight, pre-baby, post-baby, food baby. Hey, you may want to just kind of say, well, I'm normally this size, but if I think that there's no stretch, look at the comments. The comments really help you out. Amazon, the comments help me out a lot. And then just have good tailors, like your local cleaner, if they can able to cinch you and give you some like different types of stuff, or extra lining if it's too sheer. Like, you'll be able to tell, and you can kind of make it your own. So that way, if you show up to the white party in the same dress that you got online at Shein, it's personalized because you took it to the tailor and maybe they added a little neck piece or they added a little sleeve on there for you. I mean, I'm not a designer, but I kind of am, but I'm really not. But shout out to like so many tailors and other stylists that know how to really sew, that I have worked with and collaborated with personally, where I'm like, hey, I was thinking this. Can this work like that? I do that at the hairdresser too. I will make up something and then I'll be like, this is what I really was talking about. They're like, huh?
Right.
I'm like, well, it's kind of like a bob, but it's a lob. But it's like, and they're like, what the heck is she talking about?
Right.
But I make it fun, and it's all good. But I love the creative collaboration in that, so that if you do show up somewhere because, you are shopping at some of the popular places online, at least you kind of individualized it and made it your own.
And I totally agree with that, because I have a seamstress. So bless those who do have their own seamstress or tailor. Definitely you need
fancy,
one.
y'all.
Today. Yes, it's a must. It's a must, because that worked in my favor. I was attending my friend's engagement party and they want us to all wear white. And I was like, okay, and I don't want you to have to make anything, because of course everybody's like, Joy, you can't get everything custom. I love it, but no here, no there. So I looked online, Shein, and I got this dress. And the dress was a long maxi dress, but I had my seamstress to put a split all the way up to, mid thigh. And of course, I've taken it. It had a very low cut. Excuse me, God, for my bust showing out. But it really was like, boom. I was like, oh my God, perfect. Not thinking anything of it. But many people reached out. Where did you get this dress from? Where did you get this dress from? But I had to keep stating, it's a dress from Shein, but I got it altered to fit what I want. It was something simple. We was able to cut the lining. She made a wide split, and it went from Shein to what Joy like. Just a simple twist, nothing from it. So I totally agree, because see, now people are wondering, and of course this was like a year ago, and people were wondering like, oh my goodness, how can I get this dress? And of course, when I said that piece, they were just like, okay, because they didn't want the dress. They wanted the dress with the split. I'm like, well, I just took it and made it my own. So I definitely can contest to that. Just taking something and really just rearrange it for your liking, knowing that everyone shops there, but definitely just adding a little twist. Definitely give it that different je ne sais quoi, of different fashion style. So now, Denise, I know you stated all these different expertise, these different intricate details. Have you thought about doing your own fashion line?
You know what? I
Denise
have, and I feel like there's some things that are in the works. So, from your mouth to God's ears, there are some things. But for me, it's definitely, I love underpinnings. I love talking about bras and fit, and especially with me, my weight fluctuates, especially I have been slimming even more. And so when I do that, you got to adjust the girls, you got to adjust the bras, you got to have different things. And so I'm always curious about shapewear. So that is something that I'm definitely interested in, and I've had opportunities before. So I am excited to see what exploration with that. And yeah, the fashion design stuff, I'm not a designer. I remember one time I was doing a project with Vera Wang, and she was like, oh, just stitch up my sleeve. And I was like, oh, I'm not about to play myself with Vera Wang. So while her makeup artist was suggesting that he could, I guess he wanted to give her a little bit more cat eye, and she was like, no.
Okay.
So as he was talking her into doing a little bit more liner, I said, you know what, take it off for me, because I could top stitch the hell out of that. And I did. I top stitched it with like double-sided tape, and I had my little iron, and it was perfect. Because I was like, yeah, I don't really sew like that. And I remember learning how to do buttons. I used to do the Bloomingdale's Christmas catalog, and then we
Okay.
had menswear, and so I learned how to do that. But kudos to all the designers out there that sew, that it's something in their lineage, where their grandma did it, their mom did it, they do it now, they taught their children, boys and girls. I just think it's so amazing, and it's so cool to see it, especially people that do corsetry work and draping and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
student of it, and I know as a stylist, that's what they hire us for. A true stylist is to
Right.
come in and kind of give you imagery and talk about the hair, the makeup, inspiration. What era are we talking about? Laura Bacall, actresses, models, the core things of Deccan and Halston, and, going into the history of fashion, but
Right.
then dumbing it down with that designer so they can make it their own and their classicness. So I just love the art of fashion. I've always been a student of it because I didn't study it. I kind of had to hit the ground running and learn as we go. And I always teach people that on our team. I'm like, we're learn as we go type of thing. We're teaching as we're moving, as we're doing. So I don't know necessarily the design part. I'd probably be more like a creative director, if that makes sense.
Okay. Okay, phenomenal. And I know we could go on and on and on. This has been such a tremendous conversation.
This
I
is
thank you so much.
fun.
Thank you. Before we go, is there anything that you would like to leave with the people? Any affirmation, any quote, or anyone who desires to be a stylist like yourself, or who's a stylist but somehow find a rock in a hard place of how to get out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I always say when preparation meets opportunity, success is always going to be the outcome of that. So preparation plus opportunity equals success. And then I love this quote from the movie Viola Davis where she said, "You was kind, you was smart, you was important." I think that that's such a confidence booster. That's an affirmation to say. And I just love the Bible. It's something
Mhm.
that I'm trying to get more into reading, but for God so loved Denise that he gave his only begotten son. I mean,
Amen.
where you could
Amen.
take your name and you put in there, but I'm his favorite, so I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
Okay. But those are just things that I'm just like, for God so loved Denise, he gave his only begotten son. He left the 99 to come after me. And I just think that
Amen.
that is
Yes.
so amazing. How great is God to do that? How great is he to be the creator of all things? That he
Mhm.
gives you the free will to worship, to praise, to, light your sage, to do whatever you want to do. Um, to be that individual and that person. And I just think that is just so awesome. It don't get no better than that. So that's just how I live my life, with joy. With joy. I try
Right.
to, just spread joy, be joyous, and just
Right.
be grateful for every day and every opportunity.
Amen. So, what a great way. Definitely thank you again, Denise. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She has dropped so
Fun.
many gems, so many jewels. I mean, we could go on, but definitely look her up. She's definitely a good resource to get into styling. I know she can lead you all into the right direction. Again, thank you, Denise. So please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy. And please, if you would like to patronize our company, it's definitely here. You can either do PayPal or Cash App. We'll be so ever grateful. And as my team has showed before, we have Chuck's and Coffee that is coming up on Sunday, October 15th. So keep in mind, we will have Diva Movement, our nonprofit organization. Who are we profiting? Who are we giving back as they're making a movement and a stride back into the DMV area? So please make sure you check out the Eventbrite. And if you'd like to purchase a ticket, for you'll be so celebrating a great cause. Until then, as you all know, here's my guest, Manny, who will be up tomorrow. Coffee with Joy be up tomorrow with Manny as we're talking about a renewed life of fashionable. So as you all know, if it's a weekday, it is Coffee with Joy. Until then, live life on purpose. See you all later. We